Okay, this is an infinity shawl. I have cast on 77 stitches, and then every third one I converted to a mock rib. And what I'm doing on the edge, I'm doing a slip stitch. Now, to get the slip stitch, I slide the last stitch forward into hold position, and I bring the yarn up so it's laying over the needle. That way it'll skip the needle. Then on the other side, I push it all the way back in, and then I knit the row. I extend the last needle, wrap the yarn up and over, and knit the row, and push the last needle opposite the carriage back into work position. And I just do that for a total of 503 rows. Now, about every 20 rows or so, I convert the stitches. Okay, now to convert the stitches, always leave my carriage on the left hand side. That gives me an odd number of stitches when I first started out. And what it does while I'm working on it is it gives it even numbers after the first row. So I push this needle back into place so it's in working position. Then I take my needle selector I had created and I pull every third needle forward. I leave the two ends alone. I don't mess with those. Excuse me. And then I take my yardstick, which is a heavy duty yardstick. I push my needles back a little bit. Then I take my yardstick and set it between the nubs of the needle and my green bars. What that does is it sets the needles up so that I can just pull the stitch off and unladder it down. And then I will rework it up every other stitch. So I'll skip a stitch and work the stitch. Skip a ladder rather and work the next. And what that does, that creates a mock fisherman, what I call a mock fisherman stitch. It's also called a baroque. And I did this I'm on row 503. So I wanted it to be about 6 feet long. Just pull it out, ladder down, and just stitch these back up. Okay, now when I get these rows done, I've got maybe about 3 more rows to do, and then I'm going to knit about 10 rows of waste yarn because I'm going to graft the beginning to the end. And when I did my original cast on, I cast on with waste yarn so that I had open stitches. And I'll bring that up in just a second and show that to you. Okay. I work about 20 rows and then I re-ladder them up. I found if I do any more than 20 rows, I'm kind of leaning too far on the floor and it's very uncomfortable. So I just do 20 at a time. Take my time, do a little bit, come back to it. And I've used, this is Vanna's Choice yarn in rust. Hang on. Try not to catch pieces of the thread because you don't want to split the yarn at all. Okay, let me show you the other end. Here's long. So I did cast on with my waste yarn, then I ran a ravel cord, and then I started with my colors. Okay. And I'm probably going to do a few more rows, and I'll be back when I get to the end. Whoops, got to pay attention to what you're doing, or you'll be doing it over again. Okay, and just re-ladder these up, skip a ladder, grab the next, and that's just a mock fisherman rib. And I will be back when I get to the last row.